10% of the people out there who will drive crazy. Another thing, do not use cruise control. Some people do. I use cruise control all the time, but not in these conditions. I use cruise control to help regulate my speed. So I set it at the speed I'm supposed to be going, and then let it guide me, keep me from going too fast or too slow. But not right now. I was thinking of going around I was thinking of actually going around the south part of the loop, but I didn't. Changed my mind, I guess, apparently. I haven't seen. You can tell it's been plowed, and it looks like all the plowing is really done is just turn everything into ice. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a single plow. Not MoDOT, not the city. And I wonder if the conditions are such that they can't do much. They can just kind of clear the streets and this isn't so bad here. It doesn't look like it's. I don't see the glazing, and it can be deceptive too. You know, the thing about using your eyes is that you really can't tell. Another thing that makes driving on the highways bad in the wintertime in these conditions are the 18-wheelers. They drive like a bat out of hell all the time, some worse than others. And they do have weight advantage in that the weight is on their drive wheels. The truck is essentially a four-wheel drive car because it's got four power wheels, actually 8 power wheels, and a lot of weight is on those wheels. But even so, when you look at a lot of the really bad wrecks in the snow and stuff, there's usually an 18-wheeler involved, because you know that weight advantage only gives you so much, and weight advantage is good on traction and situations like trying to go up hills and stuff. Terrible if you're trying to come to a stop. And 18-wheelers take them extra long to stop anyway. Uh-oh. We have a wreck. This guy behind me is like too close. Yep. Mustang plowed into the median. Oh, and besides pickup trucks, some of the worst cars on the road are sports cars. Sporty cars like Mustangs, Camaros, rear-wheel drive cars that have a lot of power because they have oftentimes too much power, and depending on what options you buy, I don't know completely about this, but depending on what options you buy, you can get traction control in some of them, which helps out a lot. But apparently, it's one of those deals where you have to be rich in order to have safety. And so, yeah, if you opt out of not buying the traction control, I guess you can do that, or you could do that with some of the earlier models. I'm not sure if that's true with all of them. White knuckle. Looks like somebody left their bumper over there. Oops. There's the new Honda Ridgeline, confidently going through the snow. Monday. Normally when I drive to work, I turn on the radio, but I'm kind of like, besides doing this where, I can't have the radio in the background because I get copyright gigged, but also because listening to the radio will be a little distracting. The talking to myself actually kind of helps me stay more alert and concentrate. Quite often during bad weather, I will turn the radio on just to listen for weather reports. And a lot of times I try and tune into radio stations that actually bother to give you weather reports. It used to be kind of the community service component of having a radio broadcast license that you give urgent information and news to people. But most radio stations have abandoned that, and most radio stations aren't even local. A lot of people don't even realize that, because the FCC has been loosening up the rules quite a lot, allowing major corporations to take up all the bandwidth and not have to do anything really for it. Usually I listen to KCUR, and they're pretty good about, well, are they? I don't know. I think the local traffic reports are pretty good. The best one, I think, is KANU in Kansas. It's another national public radio station, and when there's severe weather coming in, they're really, really good about updating. off of highways on ramps. Again, take it sleazy. The ramps are not as well maintained generally as the highways will be. So you're going from an area where you've been driving along pretty confidently to an area that you can't even see the road half the time. So, you know, if you don't have cars behind you, don't worry. Oh, look, there's all the snowplows. They are out. If you don't have a bunch of cars behind you stacked up, don't worry so much about, you know, trying to maintain highway speeds going off the ramp. Just start slowing down, because once you hit that ramp, you might hit a big sheet of ice. In this car, my wife wiped out on a ramp. She she hit it going 60 miles an hour, realized it was a sheet of ice, crammed her brakes, and just went spinning, doing donuts all the way down up the ramp. And the only thing that stopped her was a guardrail, and it broke the front. This car used to have a fancy pants off-road looking bumper protector, and she broke it. We eventually took that off, and the car doesn't look bad without it, and we just never really bothered to put it back on because, you know, we couldn't really find one online or whatever. Didn't want to bother. And yeah, that ramp was not great. And now we're back on city streets. And you know, some of the smaller suburbs, the richer suburbs that are really, their wealth is generated by the proximity to the big center city, but they don't necessarily have to share that wealth, so they keep it within their city. Their streets are cleared like that, bone dry. And then we here in Kansas City, we pay extra taxes and everything, and everybody uses our roads. You know, all the other people from all the other suburbs, they come into town and they use our roads and everything else like that. Don't contribute a thing. We pay extra for that. Look at this sheet of ice right here. And our roads are the worst. And I forget what they say, how many thousands of miles the city actually has to clear compared to a lot of these smaller suburbs that have, you know, higher proportion of road crews to road than we do, and they're able to get it cleared like nothing. Plaza is all lit up like a Christmas tree, literally. Thanksgiving night, they light up the plaza lights. It's really pretty. It's probably really pretty right now, but I'm on my way to Wake. Can't go sightseeing. Matter of fact, I'm a little late, as usual. And that's with leaving early, although I should have left a little earlier.